Like, who cares that he did a Hitler salute? Like, realistically.
No,
like,
I mean, you should.
Yeah, but do you not care?
I honestly don't.
You don't care.
Like, I honestly don't care because that didn't affect my life.
Until he builds a military.
Until he builds an oven. Until he builds an oven. It's like, check out this cyber oven.
Yeah.
Like, you've been Kanye's cook, chef. He was Kim Kardashian's
for real?
Kanye's chef.
I didn't know this at the time, but I cooked for
Hitler?
Harvey Weinstein
Really?
multiple times.
Since Harvey went away, movies got worse.
Okay, bro, relax.
Think about it.
Relax.
Name 3 good movies in the last 5 years. To me, a hot chick can do anything bad. And then I'll just write it off. But an ugly person, you start actually looking like... That's why we're like pretty honest to ugly people. We treat them how we really feel.
Yeah.
And hot people, you forgive a lot. You
You're-
forgive a lot to hot people.
I think hot people get the most fake of society.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
I like the most fake face, not of them,
Which
but
I'm okay
of
with.
Of society.
I'd rather have somebody treat me nice, even if they're lying, than treat me terribly and be honest.
But that's what you have to have your fair share.
You'd rather have a brutal honesty?
Yeah.
Well, you know what, Jordan, you're a good-looking guy, so you think that's what you want. But I'm telling you, as a person who's received brutal honesty, you don't want that.
Yeah,
you don't want that. They're like, oh, it helps build character. It's like, but you know what doesn't help build character? When someone's like, dude, you're awesome. You're like, why would I need... That's great.
Yeah, but you would
That's
be
great.
wild soft if people were like super like pudgy with you. You would be stupid soft.
Not if I was good-looking, then I'd just fucking
No
sail
way.
away.
No
Dude,
way.
But
you
there's
know
a lot
what?
of people who are like we've been around him when there's people like kissing your ass.
Yeah,
all
but
day.
those people, those are like fans. I want like true
No,
honesty.
people that you work with too.
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
seen it.
but it's different. It's different. It's different. It's like good-looking people just
but
have a
you're
certain...
like an Indian dude, you know, like the Indian dudes that are in tech that are like, yo, that they felt like they were like basically like the outcast,
Yeah.
and then they had to learn how to code, and then they created an app, and everyone's like, oh my god, he's rich.
Like crypto made so many ugly people hot.
yeah.
We started we're tipping the scales with crypto. With nerdiness is in right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's the most.
it's the best. It's always been in though.
Being a nerd.
I feel like Counter-Strike, once all those video games came out,
I think once video game culture
Yeah.
popped off, that's when being a nerd became cool.
yeah.
Well, because they monetized video games, right? Before it was like you're a bum to now you make more than my parents combined.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they'll ever make. Like that dude Ninja was making $30 million a year.
Stupidity.
Just playing video games. Yeah, but those guys also have to inject their
Whatever. He's
personality.
playing
the
fucking
big-
PUBG.
PUBG and the
and
other one,
fucking Fortnite. Yeah.
That's the one. Fortnite.
Yeah. It's stupid money, bro. You serious?
Yeah.
These guys are just walking around the street. There's some guys walking around filming them, and they're just saying hello to people on the street, and they're making a couple M's.
Yeah, I don't understand streaming when they're like, "Oh, I just walked around and said hi to people."
I don't get that.
Or people are like, "I just don't get streaming culture." But I guess it's like the Truman Show. But why would you care about these people?
That's where I don't understand podcasts, streamings, or any of that. Where it's just, and even social media in general, where
Right,
people
yeah.
like are given this platform, and yeah, they can have a following, but like people start trusting their ideology, their views, their opinions
Instantly.
When there's
Yeah.
how do you know it's credible? Because they have a lot of followers. That's not merit. Just a lot
Right,
of
Hitler
followers.
had a lot of followers,
Yeah.
dude. You know.
Speaking of,
Speaking of, the Elon Musk.
what
thing?
did you think about?
My thoughts on the Elon Musk? Hey, like,
no. Okay, so
I'm not going to do it. But
what they're labeling it, right, is that he was giving his heart to everyone.
right.
So
But
I
dude-
just did that. I just gave my heart to everyone.
Right, but if he would,
But
you should
he
just
did not give
the,
his
the
heart.
the thing is, like Elon's autistic, and I think Elon also gets off on like triggering people, maybe.
Okay.
And so, like, while he could have just gone like this, he's like, why don't I go like that?
Yeah, but you guys
and
also
just create that create the he's good at creating
palm down,
conversation.
fingers straight, arms straight.
He's autistic.
But look, but you,
I'm blaming it on autism.
I've never
yeah,
granted
but you guys are
anyone-
also not observing him. Like you guys watch how he dances. He stops.
Okay.
He's stiff. There's nothing smooth about this. Is smooth.
Okay.
Okay. He dances like this. Sure. Like, that's a crazy dance. You know what I mean? Like he gets excited, he starts stiffening up. So he has no like motion at all. Like he's just mad excited all the time.
But that's a
off
very-
of ketamine, I think.
Who cares? Like, who cares that he did a Hitler salute? Like, realistically.
No,
Like,
I mean, you should.
Yeah,
care.
but do you not care? Do you not care that he did a Hitler salute?
I honestly don't.
You don't care.
Like, I honestly don't care because that didn't affect my life. right?
Until
Right? Like,
he builds
it does-
until he builds a military
until he
and
builds an oven.
until he builds an
That's what
oven.
It's like, check out the
Yeah.
cyber oven.
Yeah,
like
yeah, it doesn't affect your life now.
First of all, the Cybertruck barely works. If Elon built a cyber oven, it would also barely work.
Jesus.
You know what I mean? Maybe just shit just doesn't bother me. Maybe I'm a bad Jew, but like none of that. Like I don't care about this person. So why would I care? That's like being like, yo, can you believe some hillbilly in the South hates Jews? And I'm like, yeah, I can.
I could.
Dude,
you know,
Jews are fucking annoying. Like, just as a Jew, we can all agree. You probably find your culture annoying. I find my culture annoying all the time. So when you see like people are like, I'm like, we're a little annoying, more than usual. Jews are probably the most annoying. I'm not saying anything.
What are you trying to say, though? I'm
not trying to
where
say
are we
it.
going with this? I just want to know where we ending that one off.
I don't know where I'm ending that. I'm not saying. I just think that you know what's crazy is that we live in a time where like no one can even say that, right? It's as saying a Jew is annoying is the same as saying like I want to push Jews into an oven, right?
Yeah.
Like they look at that as the same statement instead of just being like, oh yeah, like you guys are like, yeah, all right, that's just
Because you know what it is for Jews, the scarcity of Jews. They're like, oh, okay, this just starts into a joke, and then next thing you know, we're starting a Facebook group, and then we start a cult, and then we start a military, and then next thing you know, they have a building dedicated to it. And
Right.
they get afraid. It's PTSD. You know, it's like it's past trauma.
Yeah, but I'd look at it this way: like most religions hate gay people, right? It's just like written into their DNA, and it's like those seem to coexist in this country fine. So like Nazis and anti-Nazis can coexist. Like unfortunately, that's life. You're not going to get rid of everything. It's like being like, let's
agree
get
with
rid of
that.
roaches in New York. You're like, you're not going to do it, so you might as well find a way to live together.
Just for less.
As crazy,
Just
as
to
crazy,
be like,
but I
just
do
to
agree-
maintain the peace.
I do agree with that because like I've been telling people this year, my color, my Pantone color, my color of the year is gray, and every shade of there is because my whole life, I'm 36. My whole life I've lived black and white, on, off, 0 to 1,000. You know
Right.
this. What I've found in whether it's my restaurants, shows, whatever it is, but you can find a lot of peace, a lot of tranquility, a lot of understanding in the gray.
Yes.
So, but that just reinforced what you just said. I think that you can't say, well, you can, but most people can't say
I'll say
that
Jews are annoying.
Jews are annoying, right?
Right.
But I do believe that there should be a platform where that's not hate speech. You're just saying something that you believe. That shouldn't get you canceled. That shouldn't hurt your wallet. But it's just
Traffic's
something you're
annoying.
saying. Yeah, traffic's. Yeah, like we can say these things.
Taxes are annoying.
But now, like media and whatever it is just everything has such a magnifying glass on it.
Yeah.
and that's what I hate. Like,
I hate
don't-
that too.
I hate that.
There's
Like,
there's no like
no gray. There's no nuance.
Well, because you also feel like you're stuck. You have to be such a robot in everything you say. You can't have like a barbershop conversation on your Instagram because like everybody's going to
because the
judge
whole
you.
world's watching,
Yeah.
and then everyone forms an opinion. But hey, guys, listen, this is a great
Yes,
episode.
exactly. We
Way
didn't
to
even
start.
introduce. We didn't even
I was so hyped on this episode because I'm like we're bringing in one of my favorite human beings.
He
One
hates
of-
intros, by
one
the
of
way.
one of my favorite human beings. One of the most energetic. I talk a lot. Once in a while, we have a guest we call a golden retriever. You're kind of a golden retriever. Like
yeah.
you're just
Bubbly.
You're infectious. I want to hug you. So much fun and such a light in a dark world that I hate that we started this podcast off shitting on Jews. But we did. But we deserve it.
This guy's Alex Jones.
ladies and gentlemen, Jordan Andino. Woo! So, first of all, celebrity chef. You've seen him on Netflix, Cooking at All Costs. Great show.
yeah, it's a good show.
First of all, you're on like Fox morning shows or all those morning shows,
Yeah.
doing cooking, wine demos.
When you hear it, when you have to kind of consolidate it for another brand or for a gig, and you're like, wow. Like I did it for a presentation where I was lecturing at Cornell, and I had to like tell like in my presentation like you have to tell them what you do. So I had to like compile that list. So it's like it's weird. It's weird to look back all the
At
shit
your
that,
life?
And list your resume.
yeah,
kind
all
of,
the shit
yeah.
that we've done, we've experienced here in New York, all that experience, and then you have to put it into a slide, and you're like, that's pretty.
It's also weird talking about yourself a little bit, right? Sometimes
Yeah, I try not to.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's a weird feeling. It's like having to like present that and kind
Well,
of almost
because-
pivot it in a sense where you're basically I'm here because of this, and then everyone's kind of in the room like, oh.
And then you're just like, I don't think anyone cares. When I talk about myself, because I've said it so many times in my head or wherever, I'm like, when I regurgitate it to anyone else, I'm like, do these people even give a shit? I've been lately talking to people, and then as I'm talking, I go, I don't even care. Why do they care about what I'm saying right now?
Yeah. It's weird. It's a weird feeling
yeah.
because like sometimes in my head I'll be like, oh shit, that was cool that I did that. Oh shit, that was cool that we accomplished this or we went through that. But then when you regurgitate it out loud to a group of people, it's a vulnerable feeling because you're like, yo, this shit means something to me, but they're gonna be like, yo, my man, you're a clown.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
I agree. It's to this day it makes me uncomfortable because I also believe as a leader, the word "I" can be like whether this term's whatever toxic or whatever it is, but like I don't like saying "I" when it comes to leadership. Whether it's leading an events team, a production, or my restaurant, or whatever it may be, I don't like to say
You like
I.
the we?
I'm a we.
Yeah, it's easier.
I'm a we guy.
That way, if something goes wrong, you're like, it's you guys are
I'm an
fault too.
LLC.
No,
I'm an LLC, not a me.
no. If I know I go the other way. If it's wrong, I. If it's positive, we. And that's my delineating factor.
That's a very good way to keep integrity.
Regardless, and there's times where I hate it.
Yeah,
but
you'd make a terrible dictator.
yeah, I'd be pretty bad. But
Right.
if it's
Some
wrong,
good dictators
if it's wrong,
blame
it's me.
everyone else.
If it's good, it's we.
You're like a military fucking sergeant, bro. That's good. But I think the military, like the core values in the military, are probably the best way to live by.
As a chef, I grew up like in a militaristic mindset.
You
What,
have
just
to.
kill random people in another
No, just
country?
leadership. Just leadership. You got to just be like, you have to take accountability and just move on quick. And
What accountability? Isn't the military like people overseas? Like our military.
I mean, we're talking about.
Oh, you're just talking about basic training.
I'm talking
general-
You're talking about basic
I'm
training.
just a guy. I didn't
mindset.
ask you to list me the news articles.
I'm just saying,
I'm
a
talking
military
about waking up
mindset.
at 7 a.m. and doing some push-ups. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's not a military mindset.
I don't know.
Shoot some brown people. You know, just depends what
Yeah,
your
you
military
gotta-
are in.
Take over countries.
Whatever you get assigned to is
steal
different.
oil.
You know what
Yeah.
I'll say about the military, and this is like really funny because I didn't really want to get political with you at all, but like the funny thing is, you know, Trump signed all these fucking executive orders and he's getting rid of the transgenders in the military, and the transgenders, like, you know what, the military is one of those places where I wouldn't want any representation, right? You're like, oh, I want trans here, I want trans there. If I was trans, I was like, why would I sign up to die? Like, why are they clamoring to be in the military? That's like the one place where I'd be like, I'm good being treated like not an equal here. Like, count me out.
When it comes to the military, right? It's how people look at it because there's a certain, I would say, swath of people who are like, the military is where you go because you have no other options.
Right.
And then, which I'm not saying that's that is how some people think. And then you have the other side where you serve because it's your duty and you want to protect your country. And then depending on how you look at that's
That's a trans mentality. You have no other options. You cut your dick off. You have no other options. You join the military. So
then
it's almost in their DNA.
Yeah, but some people
to take jobs with no
some
other
people
option.
look at the military like prison. Some people go to prison because they have good dental care. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the
Like-
military does.
yeah, there is that too.
You know what I mean? So
until
that's
you get
another-
injured, then they forget about you and you're homeless.
That's true. like
That's just crazy that of all the
forgetting about-
things our country does, like you'd be like, at least take care of our troops when they come back.
I don't understand how there's because with what it's like a multi-trillion-dollar budget.
Why do I need to see a homeless
Yeah,
vet in a
yeah,
wheelchair
like, there should be
begging
no-
next to some other guy who did nothing for this country?
No vet should be out of care, out of pocket, like anything, because the whole part is that's a duty to your country. So the country should repay that forever for the life of
Yeah,
that
you
vet.
shouldn't pay taxes.
I
You
also
should-
want to see what those vets do though. Like if they're like sitting in the barracks and just not doing and helping out and avoiding like conflict.
Like during their
yeah.
during
You're like, I want them
service.
killing. I
During
want
service.
them
Like if you're a
murdered.
homie, if you're you know those firemen that like there's a fire and they're just walking around the house just looking around like yo, if you're not going into the fire, like you're not getting any benefits. I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the rating system would. They just need a kill count, some sort of like
But what about those who are not like field duty? So like the administrators,
the drones, the guy
Yeah.
peeling potatoes on the battleship.
the chef,
chef.
yeah, I gotta see. I gotta see what you.
like what do you?
Yeah,
how-
we-
like there's it should be.
If you're bringing value, then sure, homie, you got it.
I fed 10,000 people. Of those 10,000 soldiers,
Yes.
those 10,000 killed 50,000.
Yes.
All right,
Yeah,
chef.
because of
Good
me.
because of the
Yeah,
calories.
Because of me. I have a lot of bodies. If they were sleepy, we would have been dead. If they were
the
exhausted.
protein was good.
I gave them good protein, good
Yes,
carbs.
yes.
Does that bother you? No, I'm just going wild now.
Go ahead.
As a chef, isn't it crazy that you have a job that really presents a form of love and affection to the people consuming your art, right? I make a picture, it doesn't really do anything, right? Besides for the person it's for. But when you make a meal, you're providing some sort of, there's an affection to that, a love.
Couldn't agree more.
Like, there's some people that don't deserve to be fed. Have you thought about that? You're like, have I fed like a serial killer? Have I fed a murderer? Right? People come into your restaurants.
Sure,
You know, there's some
I-
evil people.
I mean, I've fed like for my fast casual Filipino taqueria, Flip Siggy, that was open for a decade in New York, and we were selling just on my number one burrito 150,000 burritos a year. That's just
Oh,
on
yeah,
one.
you-
That's
you
just on
fed-
one
yeah,
burrito.
you got
that's for
some-
10 years.
Yeah,
No, you fed some people.
You've had
Yeah,
some
I've
fucking
definitely fed
terrible
some
humans.
terrible humans. 100%.
But West Side has less terrible than FDR.
Do you think your
than,
food-
than the East Side?
You think some guy was going home to beat his wife, had your burrito, and changed his mind? He's like, this is too good. Life is too good. Maybe you saved a lot of violence through food.
Anger is a real thing.
Yeah.
So I think
Me and my girl
That would be a great-
experience that often.
That I should open up a restaurant that's like, yo, eat here before you. It's going to be called post, not nut clarity, but like post gut clarity.
oh, that's a good one.
Post gut
that's a
clarity.
good
one.
Like you
Taking
come
a
in,
note,
we
taking
feed
a
you,
note,
and
yeah.
then you start making decisions.
You
for
just
the day.
shot
So-
a lot of shit out, but yo, that one you just cracked.
That's pretty
that
good.
one you just cracked.
And then we have a glory hole in the bathroom. We suck you off. We feed you.
I see, but now you're going overboard. Now you always push it overboard.
Fine. But I'm just telling you, the world is angry, and I think that's why we have so many starving people, because we could feed everyone in this world, right? We say we have enough food waste in this world that we could actually feed everyone with that food waste. But if everyone's well nourished and happy, then no one can chop up any economy up and like make people, someone can't get wealthy. You need starving people to create anger.
I mean,
You need him to feed people. If you feed people, everybody's gonna be all right. Because your burritos are fire.
But also, there's a lot of people who can't fucking cook, and then who pretend that they can cook, or just kind of got there because of like kind of luck. It's like yeah, like luck is when opportunity meets preparation.
That's the problem with this country. Everyone gets an opportunity, and that's the issue.
That's a great thing.
I think that's a great thing because not everyone makes something of it.
90% of shitty dentists, and there's only good 10%.
Yeah.
It goes back to chefs.
Definitely goes back to chefs.
Well, a bad chef, you're like, I got diarrhea, I move on. A bad dentist could literally fuck up your life.
no, but then you have like mediocre chefs who just put out just the perfect amount of like a 4.5 out of 10 of anything flavor wise, and for some reason, because they're in the right spot, they have the right people or right lease or whatever, they're just continuing perpetuating disgusting
that
bullshit every day.
I think that I could, and forgive me if I'm wrong, if I'm not creating the menu, but I feel like in a few days I could work in your restaurant as a chef. Is it mostly, it feels like when I'm cooking at home, it's mostly time management. Outside of like,
Yeah.
when your menu, you're like, all right, make this chicken, make that pasta. Like I can follow instructions. Cooking isn't baking, right? Baking is a science.
Correct.
Cooking is an art.
Yep.
Right? Cooking, you could a dash of this, a pinch of that. With baking, you need like exact
have to
measurements or
yeah.
else it doesn't work, right? So I think I could walk into most restaurants, if someone gives me the tutorial, as long as the setup is there, I could probably figure out. I'm not saying I'm going to be phenomenal, but I would eventually rise to the occasion. Do you think that there's a lot of people that could become, I'm not saying the guy who makes the recipe, because I think that's a true chef, but that's what, like a line cook?
Line cook.
Yeah, I think most people could be line cooks, right? No?
No.
Why?
The reason why is because line cooks, you need to be a masochist because you need to like pain and suffering for yourself in some way.
What do you mean?
Like you gotta be okay with doing CrossFit 2 times a day.
Your knees, back, hips, legs are gonna and feet are gonna hurt like hell because you're standing in one place for 14 hours.
But what
It's
you're
hot as
saying
fuck.
is none of what you're describing has anything to do with the actual cooking process.
It's not about that though.
So that's what I'm saying is like everything, like to be a line cook, once you teach me the recipes, the rest is just like the same thing as being a roofer or being a plumber, right? Like as long as you can stay there and
most people can't do that.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it's like I feel like I could work in a restaurant.
How long do you
For how many hours,
The
bro?
beauty- the
I
beauty-
can work- I can work a long time.
The beauty here is that we have a restaurant and Krill lives a 11-minute walk from it. So technically, if we created this challenge, we could actually do it.
I will run because your restaurant's closed during the day. I will run post gut clarity out of carriage cows.
One thing he
During
could
the day.
do, I'll tell you, I don't know if he's gonna want to do like 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, but I know he could not eat all day long. So he definitely has that in him.
No, but
Like,
if I
he
worked
could-
in the restaurant, I'd be like, oh, well, that.
You have to taste. So what? I mean, what do you define eating? Is this tasting? Like we have tasting spoons that you just have a small taste of something, right? And you consistently just do that throughout the day. When I cook, I don't eat.
You clean your palate? How do you clean your palate? Do you do the ginger thing, or how does that work? Like, what do you...
It just depends on if I'm tasting or whatnot. But like lemon ice is typically the best way I do it. If I'm having if I have to try 17 things at once. Because like you have to actually clean it every time.
You ever taste someone cooked something for you and you taste and you go, no, it's bad. That's bad.
All right.
How do you do it?
No, I'll give you that answer plus.
Yeah.
So a lot of people always ask me on like cooking shows, right? So I've been on Food Network. I've been on Bravo. I've been on almost every cooking show that you can think of, whether as a contestant, but mostly as a judge or a host. Everyone always asks me, it's like, how's the food on those shows? How's the food on Chopped, Beef Bobby Flay? How's the food on Today's Show? How's the food on a Netflix show or whatever it may be? So what's funny is that we have to create, like, as the host, as the judges, we have to create some sort of anticipation, right? We can't just be a chef about it. And me being, as you so graciously introed me as like this jovial, happy person, I'm generally positive, people expect me to give that sort of stylistic answer that they perceive me when I'm in front of a camera.
Right.
As a chef, I'm the complete antithesis of this person.
Okay.
So when I have food and people give it to me, it in all likelihood, if I really wanted to judge it, 95% of the time, 98% of the time, it's shit, garbage. Like, don't waste my fucking time eating it. And that's on shows. That's chefs. That's other restaurants. That's people who cook for me. That's whatever. That's whatever the fuck it is.
But you always just go,
Yeah, but no matter what, you're just like, wow. See, I love what you did here, because see, the way that you took this beef patty, the texture was exactly what it needed to be. It didn't work with the rest of the flavors that you're trying to combine, yet the texture of that is really shown.
Yeah, you're talking
So you
to an
have to
ugly
give one
chick.
positive
Yeah.
thing out of like the 10,000 bad things that they did.
When in reality, I would never.
Yeah, it's like talking to like a fat ugly girl. You're like, oh, she's got nice toes, right? You're just like, oh, she's got a pretty little cheeks or something. I get that. The plating is nice. This is nice plates.
Yeah, but you always have
Where'd
to
get
find
the
something
plates?
positive. But it's just like, if you're gonna feed this to people, like, you got to tell them that no, it's not good.
Look, McDonald's is fucking phenomenal.
I love McDonald's.
I love McDonald's.
Phenomenal.
I fucking love
And
McDonald's.
heroin addicts make it for us. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, McDonald's is.
I love McDonald's. I love fast
Think how
food.
good that recipe is. Heroin addicts across the world can make it.
But you see you see over the years how how they perfected this one menu of food. It's like a small menu of food, very simple, and they're just like, yo, let's just fucking get this thing down to this T, and that's it.
They make billions of dollars
Right.
a year.
Around the
They're
world.
so overpriced now, though. McDonald's is just absurd.
Yeah,
You're approaching like buying gourmet smash
Also,
burger
what the fuck
territory.
happened to the dollar menu? There is nothing for $1 anymore.
I mean, dude, that's like us complaining why soda's not a nickel
good
anymore,
point.
right? Like, it's unfortunate. Like, we're gonna have to move it. Like, $2 might be we might have to recirculate the $2 bill just to be like, here's the $2 menu.
Because
I'm surprised they have it.
What's minimum wage right now?
$7.65, I believe, in federally.
So check this
but
out.
here it's 15.
Oh, okay. So
in New
$7.65
York.
federally.
I mean, look, here's the problem. As a business owner, $15 an hour sucks to pay
That's
someone.
insane.
But as a person living in New York, you're like, $15 an hour is peanuts.
Yeah.
Like, you work 10 hours a day,
No
you
one-
make
yeah.
$150.
No
Like,
one wins with
Where
that.
are you living?
Yeah.
Like, there's a guy selling hot dogs on Wall Street making $1.5 million.
Wait, what?
You know the hot dog vendors there's certain hot dog vendors around Manhattan
Yeah.
that have like the prime real estate. The guy who sells
Yeah,
hot
they
dogs outside of Wall Street, who's been there for 15, 20 years, he like clears 1.5 million in hot dogs a year.
What
But think how many people show up for lunch.
yeah, it's the simple stuff, bro. You can't go.
He has a smaller menu than McDonald's. He's just got hot dogs and buns and a few pretzels.
I got some buns.
That's fucking insane. 1.5 million in hot dogs and in fake meat.
Yep.
Sabrett brand.
Yep.
And just
I mean, that's $5,000 a day.
Dirty water.
$5,000 a day is
Disgusting.
not that bad in hot dogs. You got to sell what, 500,000 hot dogs a day?
It's wild stuff.
Wait, what?
How much is a hot dog in the city? $5 now?
$5.
Yeah, so 1,000 hot dogs a day. That guy's got to move. He could do that. 100 an hour? No, that seems a little low. That seems a lot. He probably works 7. I don't know. Those guys make a lot of money. Though.
Yeah.
Well, you add the soda up, the pretzel. Now you've got a $20 ticket
True.
instead of $5.
Yeah, bro, it's crazy because I just looked at this post and they showed the minimum wage in like, I don't know, fucking 1995 or some shit like that, or 1985, and then 2025. and it's like it was $1.50, and then it's like $7.25, and then the houses were $25,000. Now the median house is $420,000.
Yeah, everything jumped, but or
Yeah, but
Exactly.
what the fuck is there's a big difference, bro. There's like impossible to figure that out.
we're
Like, I mean,
approaching. We're in like it's a rental culture now.
I don't agree with the whole like the bootstrap, like you need to own real estate, and like that's how you gain wealth. Like to me, like that's tied up money. That money I would invest in something that would give me a bigger return than just than hundreds of thousands of dollars eating into this house. Yeah, you can take out a loan against it or whatever, but I would rather take $500,000 I'd put down and invest that into my company and my 6 revenue streams now.
Right. Well,
are,
it just
you know,
depends. Like you have a company of food, right? So you're like, I'm gonna just keep investing in me, right? Same thing with me.
For you, it
and
makes
then,
sense
And then
for sure.
someone who's like, yo, I just want to build a real estate portfolio. That's their company,
Sure,
right? Essentially.
sure.
So they're building up their library like you would with restaurants.
But back in the day, what you were referencing is like it was always just like get a job or go to school, get a job, at least complete high school, buy your house, white picket fence. Yeah.
That's still there. I talk about this all the time. Like we need a shift in this country to remind people that being an influencer or being on the internet is it's done. It's done. That door is now closed. If you're just
fucking
starting,
hope it's done.
if you're just starting out in the world, you're like 15. You're like, what should I do? Be like, dude, go get a blue collar job. I'm telling you, you're going to be much happier. We were just discussing this. Him and I were walking, and he's like, hey, my restaurant has the space open from like until 3 p.m.
9 to
every
3,
day.
yeah.
9 to 3 every day that's just not making money. And I'm like, isn't it crazy that you, at one point, you're like, I just want to be a chef. And now you own a restaurant. And now you just have to think about how to monetize every hour, every inch of that space.
And you did already for 10 years prior.
Right.
Because you were already doing that.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
like, bro, it's never ending game because the algorithm makes you into a slave. So the algorithm wants you to live on this fucking platform 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. And then it's not like the stock market. The shit doesn't close at 4 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to be on this bitch every single day slaving away. And bro, it's fun when you're 20 into 30. And then from 30, when you're building a family, what are we doing? I'm not Mark Wahlberg, bro. I'm not fucking flying in at 5 a.m. doing ice plunges.
Right, but
Fucking-
Mark Wahlberg also has
this
a
guy
team,
and
right?
he has a team catering the whole thing, right? Pick me up here, drop me off there. There's a schedule. There's guys working out with me. You know what I mean? Like, not everybody has the money to.
I think the problem is social media made everyone believe that they're a face.
All right, well, hold on.
And I'm tired of being a face. I'd rather work for some other face now.
But don't you? Okay, so you're tired of being a face, but American meme pops. That's a pivotal moment in pop culture that I think people were like, wait, I can monetize the internet.
Yeah, I know.
And
then they deleted me right after that came out.
Deleted right, like-
We'd have a different conversation right now if I never got deleted off Instagram.
and now people are making millions of dollars of meme coins.
Yeah.
like what the?
Yeah, but it's a never ending thing, and that's why, bro. I'm not complaining. There's a lot of opportunity. I'm definitely happier being here
complaining.
than I was in a Ukrainian village. You know what I mean? So
Some would say maybe, maybe not. Like, I would rather go back to a village life, I think, at some point.
As a chef, I would.
It's simple.
Because
Yeah?
but
You
as a
would or
chef, I
wouldn't?
would. Because like I mean, people always have to eat, and the more simplistic it becomes, going back to
Yeah.
cooking.
Yeah, but do you crave attention?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
love-
we're whores still,
I
right?
love
Like,
attention.
I can't be in the woods and be like, oh, why didn't that raccoon
we're
recognize me?
victims of that, though. We love attention, and we're slaves to that
Who
as well.
doesn't love attention?
A lot of people, bro. There's
Dude,
some-
I could be having
I
the
disagree
wor-
with that shit because like even if you're an introvert and even if for an introvert, 30,000 people, 30 people are like, yo, that was incredible. The introvert's gonna go home and be like, this was great.
Yeah, you're right.
You know,
Yeah, you're
so-
right. Some of
yeah.
them will get excited, but only to a certain extent. We can keep getting excited over
No,
and
but
over
a lot
again.
of people like to claim they're an introvert. And they're like, I'm such an introvert. You're like, bitch, you're out 5 nights a week. You know what I mean? Like, stop. Right? Like, I get it that you don't want to be out.
I'm a
Sure.
Libra. I'm a
Right.
Libra. I don't like talking to people.
Yeah, like I could be having the shittiest day in the world. I go to FedEx and some guy in the back, like moving boxes, is like, slow whisper. And I'm like, we're back. I'm like, we're back. We're back.
Nah, I'll literally be having a shitty week, and then some random kid that has nothing to do with being Russian comes up and goes, "Hey, I love your videos." I'll be like, "Babe, you saw that?" That's
Yeah.
right. Remember who's the man in the house.
and like especially in New York, you do not get recognized, and so when it does happen for me, I'm like I'm trying to look for anyone around me that saw it, and like sometimes
I'm like, anyone?
most of the time it happens I'm alone. I'm just like, oh, I can't share that with anyone. Fuck, and then like you hope it happens in front of like your kid. You hope it happens in front of your wife or
course.
like your
It's
friends.
cool.
Or,
Yeah,
like,
it happens in front of Estee a decent amount, and she gets so annoyed. She hates
Yeah, my friends
when I
get
get
tight too, and
recognized
they get
because
mad.
Estee knows the minute it happens. I look to her and I'm like, I'm a celebrity. She's like, you're not. I'm like, people celebrate me. Like, I'm kind of a celebrity.
I love
She
it.
hates it. And then I'll have like a shitty day and she'll be like, see, no one loves you.
Natalie doesn't get mad, but she'll be like, "Oh, you think you're cool? You think you're cool?"
I'm like, yeah, no one's recognizing you, bitch. Like, of course I'm cool. I'm cooler than you. In this current situation, I'm the coolest person.
Nah, but
in
she
this duo.
takes a while. There was one recently out in Santa Monica, the last one. I haven't had it in a while, but a girl comes up to me. She's like, just gives me her phone. She goes, "Is this you?" And then I go, "I'm about to go on a run." I'm like stretching. I look at I'm with my friend. I'm like, yeah. Her boyfriend comes from the back, taps me on the shoulder like this, and goes, "Hey, brother." I look up at him. He's like, "I'm gonna take a picture of you and my girlfriend." I'm like, "Okay." You get scared sometimes. Yo, people pull up with when the girls pull up with their boyfriends to take a picture with you. It's a mad awkward transaction. It's like weird, kind of. I don't know how to explain
it's
it.
a very cucky.
It's very cucky,
it's very-
weird.
It's like, yo,
I don't want to
my
make
girl
him feel
likes
bad.
you.
I don't feel uncomfortable.
You
like,
got to do the Chris Brown thing where you have him stand to the side and she like twerks on you. You got to just fully cuck the guy. You've seen these things?
Why'd you
ever
take
seen
the
this?
meme off, by the way?
Oh,
Why'd you
it did
cut
terrible. There's a photo of here. I'll show you. There's
love
a
that
photo of like Chris Brown literally manhandling this woman.
That's a real picture?
Yeah, that's how he does his meet and greets. That's why they do so well. He charges like $200 for a meet and greet, but you literally get like fucking. He might as well be. It's like you might as well be inside you.
Yeah, you're like-
and then there's like the cuck X, and you stand like 2 feet next to him as the man, and you're like,
Yeah, it's awkward, bro. It's an awkward thing because I don't want to make the person feel bad in any facet. I don't want to make the girl feel bad, the guy feel bad. I'm like, oh, go.
It is
whoa.
weird. It's
and then the
definitely
guy's like, kind of like, I'm gonna take a picture. And I'm like, all right, bro, like, cool. What the
dude,
fuck?
I would get it at parties where people would then be like, yo,
I'll buy you
will
a
you
shot.
sign my girlfriend's tits, or like, will you pour champagne on my girlfriend's tits? And you're just like, oh man, I
like,
can't believe
wow.
this
Yeah,
relationship.
yeah, it's like, what are you doing behind-
You can't be taking photos like that.
Yeah, it's fucking weird,
That's
bro.
insane. That guy's holding. There's 4 points of contact between the two of
It's
them.
more than that because her ass and her legs.
And you know that if the guy's
That's her
not
brother,
there,
no?
you know if the guy's not there, like that girl will totally fuck Chris Brown.
100%.
Yo, I hope that kid does not do anything street related because that's wild. Like, if
Yeah.
you're working in the street,
If you're a drug dealer, you're done.
But no one on no other person in the street would ever take a picture like that.
$1,000 that photo cost to get embarrassed like that.
that's insane, bro.
I'd rather my mom be there than my
I'd rather
girlfriend.
just not be in the fact isn't the picture's insulting as a man.
Imagine I
Yeah,
have a
I'd be
picture
like,
like that with 50
no.
Cent, but I'm in 50 Cent's lap.
It's so good.
Stupid.
But I would love that kind of photo.
My girl's
But if
standing
I
on the
met
side.
Chris Brown, I would also be like, give me the same experience. I want to sit in your lap.
Yeah.
I'm like,
But like, because I love like his music and his style is like speaks to me, and so that is
you got a real dope chick if you take her to Chris Brown and she wants to meet him, and you're like, dude, he's literally known for beating the shit out of Rihanna. You got a real good girl on your hands if she's willing to overlook domestic abuse. You're like, all right.
But here's
this chick can
I
ride.
had this conversation the other day, literally about Chris Brown. I'm like, all right, because he said so he was 16 or 17 during that time, and yeah, there was videos of him going off. He's apologized. He's gone through what one would call like
You grow.
You grow. So and yet and then a buddy of mine knows him, and he goes, no brands touch him. No one will come near him that has a corporate overarching kind of view, and like and has
Still?
and has to worry about PR.
Yeah, he still
makes
he's
his
so
own money,
talented.
though.
No, he's so
That's how
talented. He's so
talented he
good
is.
that he doesn't even need brands.
He said, I'll go and
I'll make my
fucking
money,
pillage
yeah.
a fucking village right now.
You know how
Fucking still
talented
make
you have
money.
to be able to beat the shit out of your girl and still move on?
It's insane.
And just still have ticket sales?
But look,
crazy.
Kai puts him on streams. People bring him on. He and also he has his own brands. He owns his own stuff. He's like, yo, I don't need you guys.
Exactly, it's all him.
Yeah.
Like his whole world and ecosystem is based off of him.
I'll fund myself.
But I find it crazy that like he had that. He apologized, but that's he was 16. Well, you know, stupid shit I said and did at 16.
I'll tell
course.
you this, and I said this
He was
like a long
16?
time ago.
He was like young. He was a
little
teenager. He was a
older.
teenager.
But
so.
even then, you're like, we in
Yeah.
this country, like, I think the problem is we've all been in a situation where we've all wanted to strangle our significant other, right?
and vice versa too.
Right? Like I've
Yeah,
been like
for
I
sure.
want to strangle Estee daily. She literally like probably wants to kill me at least twice a day.
Same.
Right?
Yeah,
so
same. Aaron,
you
shout
know,
out.
while Chris
Shout out to
Brown
Natalie.
might have
Don't kill me.
acted on those impulses, most of America probably relates to the thought process, but stops at the abuse, right?
Yeah.
So he's kind of forgiven because we're like, you're like, he didn't kill her. You
See,
know?
Luigi went all the way.
Yeah.
He thought we think some of the shit that he thought, but he really went and did it.
Yeah, well, Luigi's kind of like out of the news cycle. That guy,
P Diddy's upset that he's taking all the news.
P Diddy should be ecstatic that he's out of the press.
Well, I mean, and then the fires brought back the Diddy thing. Do you believe that one? By the way,
bro, the baby oil burns bad. You know what I'm saying?
Like-
That shit burns good.
Have you ever cooked for Diddy?
I've cooked for some controversial figures.
You've been Kanye's cook, chef. He was Kim Kardashian's
for real?
and Kanye's chef.
I didn't know this at the time, but I cooked for
Hitler?
Harvey Weinstein,
Really?
multiple times. Yeah, I was in his house on his boat in the Hamptons.
Once again,
okay. You're working.
I didn't know. I was
How
working.
did you, but not only that, but what did you know about him at that point? Nothing.
Nothing. I
Made
just-
great movies.
He's like I love Pulp Fiction. Like I
You're a
just
chef. You got to break a few eggs to make an omelet.
and then I found out. I was like, ooh, maybe I should. Maybe
I should have sucked him
I-
up. Got better gigs. I should have fucked him. I could have been in fucking.
Yo, that is so good.
I didn't know this guy was for sale.
I was walking a dog that we watch, and his name is Harvey, and I'm walking him through a lobby in my building in LA. And one of the ladies goes, "Oh my God, such a cute dog. What's his name?" And I'm like, "Harvey." She goes, "Hopefully not Harvey Weinstein." And I'm like, "Okay."
But the fact that like people in
Yeah,
LA
she's already joking about it. And I'm like, "All right, cool."
Yeah,
It's
like
finally
no one's naming their dogs Adolf.
Yeah. Yo, my girl's dad's best friend, his name is Hitler.
No
it's not.
way. Last name, first name?
First name.
it's-
And he
Your
and he
girl's-
kept it.
Was he born before 1945?
Yeah.
And
Does he live in like Brazil? Where's
He after he was
He's
from
Brazil.
Brazil.
Oh, so he's an escaped Nazi.
He's escaped Nazi.
That's where they all went.
He could be
Hitler.
Hitler himself.
He might be Hitler.
And the thing is, they were like,
Operation Paperclip. I do. That's
and people
just
were like,
real.
"Yo," they were like, "Dude, like that's like you should change it." And he was like, "Nope." He's like, "I'm good."
Imagine going to imagine walking to a party, right? You bring someone to a happy hour.
He watches our podcast, by the way.
Right.
He
He's
loves
that's
the
great.
podcast.
It's like,
He loves the
hey,
podcast.
This is my boy. This is my boy.
Of course he
So, there's Val, there's Tom, there's Jordan. Oh, and there's Hitler. And you're just like, who? Sorry,
But who's the most interesting
I beg your
person?
pardon?
Who's the most interesting person? I want to talk to Hitler.
I'm gonna like,
I don't give a fuck about Tom.
I'm gonna move all these other people aside. Like, all right, so Hitler, tell me, how did we get here?
And he's
So,
interesting
like,
as
how
fuck.
did we get?
Of course
here?
he is, because you're willing to ride or die with that name. You're
How
like,
did we get here? What-
where you get the balls?
like,
No, I
How
literally
crazy-
was. I
that's
was.
crazier
I was
than
literally at a
skydiving.
barbecue.
You've seen it? You've seen
No,
it?
I swear, bro.
Okay,
I'm literally at the barbecue, and her dad is like excited about a story, and he goes, "Hey, remember this shit with Hitler, bro?" Like I was like, wait, whoa, and I was
Holocaust?
Like, I was like, and he said it again and again and again. I bumped Natalie. I'm like, who's this Hitler? Who's Hitler? She's like, that's my dad's best friend. I said, wow. I said, that's fire.
Do you think this guy exists, or or Natalie's dad just
Just
sees
fucking with-
Hitler
yeah.
like a ghost of Hitler?
Bro, I can
Remember
literally.
that shit with Hitler last time? Like,
But I'm telling you, he watches the podcast. He's our fan, and the thing is, he's like, bro, nobody named me in malice. He's like, he just happened
what do you
to
mean?
be.
No one names someone
but
Hitler
born
without
after,
malice.
born after 90, not like
You
born
have to
after
be
World War
an
II.
uncontacted tribe.
yeah, like
No, he's older though. He's already like 60 something. So
That Hitler was 80.
that's prime. Then then this is prime. Like
Yeah,
right
they
after
already
World War
saw
II.
him
Then-
kill
we might have
Jews.
to cut this one.
There's no malice. I'm calling my dog Hitler.
or the parents just have a sick sense of humor and like just we're just that avant garde. That
No,
deep,
but
like,
I think
this
in
is gonna be
Brazilian
good.
it's
This is
spelled
definitely
differently. I think
It's pronounced Hitler, but it's actually.
I think it's like
CH.
I think it's pronounced Hitler. Hitler. Maybe Hitler, and then in Brazilian, hello.
There's a skit with this. Was it a Chappelle skit of Hitler? There's the dog. I just watched this actually.
No, it's funny. You talking about the SNL show that he just did?
Was it No. Oh, I did see that.
That shit is hysterical.
That was incredible.
When he said, "Did he go to Rico K's all by himself?"
That's nuts.
That was crazy.
No, it's his look when he goes. It's far too soon to talk about the fires.
And let's go.
Like,
He's mad funny. He's stupid funny. He's a beast. I swear. This guy's never gonna die.
he can't get canceled. The more he tries to get canceled, the more he adds to his aura.
He can't get canceled because all he needs is a microphone to do his craft. At the end of the day, like I said that, like Kevin Spacey's canceled. Even if Kevin Spacey has 1 million fans to support him, unless Kevin Spacey goes on a speaking tour, like he can't really make a movie without 100 other people. And those 100 other people belong to a machine that has shunned Kevin Spacey, right? Because otherwise they all are like, oh, we're supporting a fucking.
If I was Kevin Spacey, I would just own it. I'd be like, yeah, bro.
I'd be doing
15-year-olds
one-man
are way
shows.
better than fucking 30-year-olds, bro.
Are
What do you want
they
me
not?
to do? What do you want me to do?
Like, oh, veal tastes way better. Okay, how delicious is veal?
If I was Kevin and I already got caught to that extent, I would be like, yo, yes.
If you eat veal, you're a pedophile.
I feel like I'm being entrapped because you're right in that I'm saying veal as we're talking veal tastes delicious.
Delicious.
I'm speaking about veal, the young cows. Is
See,
what
we
I-
can't even,
I
but you
can't
see,
even
yo, you
say-
know what's crazy?
You think pedophiles like talk about young kids like, yo, I had a little veal parmesan last night.
You know what sucks about this?
Some
You
guys
know
like
what sucks-
dry age. You're like, ew, so old.
You know what
my
sucks
God.
about this is that we
I
got
need a sip of coffee.
like
I'm
this shit
excited.
is funny and exciting, and then you got to kind of worry in the back of your head like, damn, bro, how far can we go with this? Because it's like it's just so annoying that we can't joke.
You can't.
We can't joke like
can't.
that.
You,
You
Yeah,
have
like-
you have a brand.
I got. Well, I mean,
It's crazy because most
so
chefs are
annoying.
pieces of shit, degenerates, right? Like
Drug
I've
addicts.
dude, I've hung out with Todd English, and I'm not his boy by any state, so I don't, dude. I've seen that man do so much blow in my life, but that's what you expect. It's the same thing from any high pressure job. Lawyers, doctors, like when you have to, like, we need to accept that these people need vices back. Drugs,
Doctors
dark
are
humor.
fucking-
Dark humor is one of the most important things
In life.
in high pressure situations. It's the only. So when else are you gonna laugh at life?
Yeah. Natalie, I'll joke around my girl. She'll be like, "Oh my god." She's like, "Why are you saying that?" She's like, "That's so
You're not sad enough.
dark." And I'm like, Natalie,
You're a woman.
if you had these days, if you had the days I'm having,
You'd laugh at a few dead people.
it's just it's like chefs. What I used to see, what I used to talk about growing up, is so different now because of what you're saying about like this and the brand and the worrying about the brand and all that.
Yeah, you couldn't be a rock star anymore right now as a chef. Back then, it would be like, oh my God, that's hilarious. Like, the chef's fucking awesome. And now you have to worry about, well, what if I lose this gig with Fox or Netflix or whatever?
In the first chapter, Anthony Bourdain's book, or of Kitchen Confidential, in the first chapter, he talked about how he saw at a restaurant in New England one of the chefs banging the bride of a wedding at the restaurant where they're having the reception at, and he described it in excruciating detail, every moment of it, and part of that was the rock star chef of it all, and people lauded that, and now you can't talk about the craziness and that
you know how
kitchen,
good
that
of a
kitchen's
chef you
bring.
have to be that you feed people at a wedding and the bride bangs you. Like, do you understand? That shit's a compliment.
that's a porn
Now
movie.
that's
a legit porn movie.
but that's what would attract me.
I watched it.
That's what that would attract me. That's an art form, right? Like, I spend my entire 20s being like, I'm that good at photography that girls are now sleeping with me, right? I'm that good of a
Well,
chef.
you are,
right,
and you
right.
were.
But that's what the arts are for. Like, people are like, oh, arts are about struggle. You have all these downsides, but the one positive of the arts is if you're really good at it, people want to fuck you.
You've ever given a
Right,
haircut
so-
to your client and his girl comes and bangs you?
Yeah, look how good Chris Brown is. This bitch is sitting in his lap at a meet and greet. People want to fuck you. So that one of the only perks they don't tell you about the arts is really sex. If you're good at the arts, people want to fuck you. And they're starting to take that away. Now, if you're like, fuck, people too much, people are like, you're disgusting, you're gross. Like, you can't talk about just being like, yo, I just fucking, I own a restaurant, I bang hookers, I do blow. People are like, ew, you're degenerate. You're like, these are the perks. These are the benefits of being a rock star chef.
You can't talk about it, but it happens. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I bet you now you can. I bet you right now, if some guy who wants to be a chef went full like misogynist again, I really think someone could come out and just be like the bad boy of cooking. Like, oh yeah, guys, I just came in on every meal.
I think
Someone's
absolutely.
gonna do it.
Bobby Fellatio.
Bobby Fellatio.
Oh,
I guarantee you that's probably his nickname in like really small circles.
Dark humor is the new weed. You remember when weed was like, don't tell anybody you smoke.
Yeah.
Don't smoke. Do you smoke? Oh, you smoke? Oh, I judge you. Oh, you shouldn't smoke. You have a bag of weed on you, you're gonna get arrested. Dark humor is literally weed right now.
Yeah, except you can't smell jokes on me. You know what I mean? You can smell weed on me. So at least with
But
dark
I'm just
humor, I
saying-
can carry it and be like,
And
no
you-
one knows
and
I'm
you- and
carrying.
you can hold
Right,
it.
but in
this guy
public,
smells jokes on the elevator.
But it's taboo to talk in public about anything dark, anything
I
like.
just do it now, dude. I'm becoming that old man. In the elevator, when Estee and I ride the elevator in our building, I just continue the conversation from the apartment, and I just go, and you know what? I don't know if the tide is changing. People be laughing in these elevators.
Yep.
I'm in there. I'm
coming in.
doing. I do a comedy special in almost every elevator ride, even if it's 30 seconds or 3 minutes. I'm clean. I could clean up. I could pass the hat around. People be tipping. I'm hilarious in elevators.
I agree. No, I agree that I've been like in recent. I don't know how long it's been, but I've just been able to go. All right, fuck it. When people I was always so worried about people judging me in that regard, but I'm like, if you just say it and just own it and know you, because there's also a tone when people can tell if you say something fucked up that you're not serious, you're clearly joking. And now I think along those lines, like when people say the words, there's people around, I'm like, now you just goaded me to yell
an audience
and an audience. Oh, there's people, great! Like now I'm in. Like let me perform, right?
Yep.
And I did the same thing.
So that's why Elon did the salute.
Go
He had an audience, and he was like, YOLO.
I fuck with it. I fuck with the whole. I honestly at this point too, like there's certain things because you could tell because my girl, you know, she started out being very like tedious and like not tedious. I mean, like she would be just very like scared to do everything because she's going into medicine. But now she's finally like flipping the switch and she's realizing like, oh, I just got to be who I am and just be funny and this and that third. Because she was like, Val, don't say this, don't say that. Why are you saying this in the elevator? I'm like, bro, I don't give a fuck. Right. I just don't care. Let's just be like, I'm not gonna keep hiding.
You can say things, but as long as the intent
tone,
is and the tone is not disrespectful, then
Yeah, I mean, dude,
Say whatever you want.
you and I went to a comedy show last week to see Andrew Dice Clay.
Oh my God.
See Sam J. It was an amazing show at the Stand, and you know they have the luxury of all their words being interpreted, hopefully the right way because they're standing on a stage, right? But
not us.
Yeah, not us. There's really no. I mean,
Enough is enough. Gotta.
we all think horrible things. All of us
Daily.
I've been in the
every hour.
Yeah, my mother is not innocent. She's a sweet lady, but if you can, she can whip out a few dark jokes. I think.
My grandmother. Oh, yo, my grandmother. She is an 80-year-old immigrant from the Philippines. She lives in Toronto. She'll be here tomorrow, and she
podcast she's doing.
Yeah,
I would love that.
She talks so much shit in both in English and in Tagalog. And she ruins people. She'll comment on people's faces, on their skin tone, on if it's pockmarked, on their smell, their nails.
To them or like to you on the side?
To anyone that's willing to listen, but because she's this cute, adorable, lovable, affable little Filipino lady, she just thinks that a smile and a little laugh with her teeth, with it has a little gap in the middle, that like everyone will forgive her. And they fucking do.
That's how
she calls someone fat and smelly, like as in my friend or someone who I know, and then she'll just smile, and you're like, okay. I mean,
those are fighting words.
I love
if
it.
she was a man, if she was a man, she'd get punched. Which is why we can't have a female leader because they will turn true dictator, right? Because they'll just do it with a smile and they're like, oh, I'm just a sweet woman, blah blah blah, and then she's horrible. We're lucky men are in charge. Because we can at least get punched in the face for that stuff. Is there people you would turn away if Harvey Weinstein walked in now?
Yeah,
Of course.
I'd never turn away.
Well, that's what I hate about this culture is that if you don't let him in, or if you do let him in, someone's going to spread the word and they'll like tarnish your reputation.
Yeah.
But no one's like, cool, if I didn't let him in, all the people that would freak out about me letting him in, are you guys going to cover the costs of the money I lost by not having a paying customer because I have employees with families and jobs and blah, blah, blah. Guess what? Apple doesn't care if Harvey uses their iPhone. But why do we care if Harvey uses my restaurant? You know what I mean? Like, why is the small business owner who's trying to make a living?
There's a face, homie.
Right. That's the fucking problem. Is like, I'd be like, yo, everyone's allowed to eat here. Maybe I can convince him. The food's so good. I'm going to stop fucking.
You come through and be like, yo, can you just chill out a little bit? Like, yo, you like this sandwich? Yo, just chill for me. Like, just calm down. Like, stop doing that.
All that shit, just don't do that.
I tried doing that to a few convicts that come to get haircuts. Like, I try to give them inspirational conversations. I'm like, yo, they come out of jail, they come get a haircut, and I'll be like, you know, this is the right time right now to stay focused, stay away from those guys that you were friends with, and blah 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 blah. And I try to.
Doesn't work.
But they go back. They go back to jail. And I try. The haircut's so fire. They come back a few times. I'm like, yo, listen. I'm like, brother, like you're on a good path right now. Stay on it.
You know how crazy that must be to them to think that like after everything they've done in life, like they're getting a haircut and that's the moment that changes them. It's like when you see a drunk driving billboard, you're like, bro, that's not.
I'm already drunk. I'm not reading that drunk.
Like, I'm not like, oh my God. Or if there was like a billboard that said like, don't abuse your spouse, you're not going to be like, I was driving home to beat the shit out of my wife, but I saw that billboard and I was like, okay, never mind.
The reason why I do that
shit
is because I had a big portion of clients that do come back or hit me up or like youngins, like 18 years old, they have an issue, conflict or something. I'll throw them a couple wisdom pieces, you know?
I feel like in your position, it actually, I think I'd see the logic there because their guard is the most down.
Yeah.
Like they're not They're there to get their haircut, and also barbershop talk and all that. They're kind of, you're like, all right, I guess we can talk about something I wasn't expecting.
Bro, some of these kids would never even say to their friends the shit they tell me. And I'll be like, and I'll listen. I'll be like, and if I actually have something that I can add on, I'll be like, yo, maybe you should try this. And I don't want to mislead them, right? And they'll call me and be like, yo, you know what? It's funny. I'm like, I need a schedule. I need to see you when you come back. And be like, it's funny. I did what you told me and it worked. And I was like, good. But, you know, it doesn't always work. Yeah. But at least I try, right? Yeah. Why not? If it was a Harvey Weinstein, I would cut him, but be like, my brother, honestly, this might be the last cut you get. You gotta stop. You gotta stop doing what you're doing, please. Listen, I'm asking you, please.
This isn't working. Right,
yeah, because if somebody
keep
sees
doing
you,
what you're doing, because Miramax was putting out bangers. I don't know about you guys, but Miramax at the height, whatever Harvey Weinstein, whatever. That's why you don't want to see how the hot dogs are made in life, right? You don't want to know the secret sauce. That's why KFC protects the recipes. That's why, because at the end of the day, Miramax was fucking crushing it.
It actually
when
was.
Harvey Weinstein was allowed to be Harvey Weinstein. Now, look at the movies since he's gone. Have you seen a good movie lately? Like, we get one good movie a year now.
Have you seen Gladiator 2?
Movies that are made ethically are trash.
Name a recent one that was made to kind of push boundaries that did succeed.
Push boundaries? Yeah. I'm just talking about one where that's like, think about the movies that are since Harvey Weinstein. Deadpool, the last one was terrible.
It's not about the last one. I'm saying he pushes boundaries more so than most movies that I've seen.
Right, so you got
he
one
makes
movie.
Jokes. He makes jokes that most people will never make.
I'm not disagreeing, but that's one movie a year. I'm talking about the scope of the Hollywood industry. Since Harvey went away, movies got worse.
Okay, bro, relax.
Think about it.
Relax.
Name 3 good movies in the last 5 years. You got Top Gun, and it's only good because it was like, hoorah, America. It was a budget.
It was also the exact same movie.
And it was a big budget.
And it was so well done.
Aurora was a good movie, a small budget movie from Brooklyn. It's
the shooting?
Really no, it's about a stripper that falls in love with this
that's
Russian
an
oligarch.
awful movie. I just watched it with Estee. Honora, it's called. Honora, yeah. Yeah, it's garbage. I literally just watched it with Estee. Dude, you watch the whole movie, you're like, what is this? Some fucking girl
it's from the neighborhood
falls
that happens. In our neighborhood, that happens often. So,
do you see this movie, Honora? It's about this fucking stupid stripper falls in love with this like rich billionaire kid, Russian kid or whatever, Eastern European. They start hanging out. She's in love with him. He's in love with her. It turns out he's not rich. It's just daddy's money. And he's just like an idiot. Gets married to her in Vegas.
And then the parents obviously come through for this to save the situation.
Just separate the whole thing, and then he runs away because he's like a kid who's been just protected his whole life, and she's like, oh my god, my heart's like, it's all about how this woman got taken for a ride because she thought she was in love.
And then she realizes she's a hoe, and she's like, I gotta stop being a hoe.
Yeah, you know? That's not a great movie.
And the thing is,
not a great movie.
And it's a great movie because, for me, it's a great movie because my entire neighborhood.
Good Will Hunting, Harvey Weinstein. You can't compare.
He touched that movie?
Yes,
yeah.
He's the reason.
Yeah.
Harvey Weinstein has executed way better movies. That's my point. Is like
it's more just I stopped watching movies.
Yeah, no, because the movies became worse.
Because you're watching
I'm watching shows.
I'm watching shows. Because now
we're joking and shit, but think about it. All the good things.
Penguin
in life.
was fire.
Penguin.
Sick.
Not a movie though.
That's a show.
It's technically 10 movies,
different.
right? So it's like, if you're, it's an interesting challenge because I'm trying to find like.
But I also think our culture has now shifted to the fact that like, why make a 2-hour movie when we can extend this to be 12 hours and get 6 episodes out of it?
Yeah, and make more money.
And then you're just like, because there's so many shows that come out where you could have just made this a movie.
I hate that they don't postpone the episode release though. I liked it before when you can't just fucking sit there and watch the whole thing because it gives me more something to look forward to every week or every 2 weeks.
Oh, I hate being held hostage by a show every week. Give me the whole thing at once.
You give me everything at once. I want to. Wait, are you saying?
I don't like that. I don't like.
You like traditional television. Every week I got to show up on Thursday nights and watch this drop.
Or I just like every week, but then I'll catch up to it on my own time. But I'm saying I don't like that it's all accessible right off the rip.
I love that
because it just kills the whole thing for me. Like I just watch it, and I'm like, fuck, it's done. I'm like, that's it. I'm like, what else is there to watch? There's nothing to watch.
But that's why there's so many streamers with more shows.
Bring Harvey back. Everything will be better.
I think going back to the initial.
He had
point.
an incredible eye for talent and film. But that's just, someone who's incredibly flawed, but obviously had talent. He had an eye for something. Not saying he's a good person, but think about how many lives had to be slaughtered in this country for us to make America.
Guys, what Kirill is saying is in everything bad, there's something good.
In everything good, there's something bad.
Listen,
it has to be. In everything good, I go to your restaurant and I have a delicious steak. Bro, a cow had to die. A living thing had to lose its life. Everything
Bella
good
Dolores.
has Bella Dolores. Beautiful pain. Val has his only gay tattoo.
It means beautiful pain.
Okay, how about this? Does what the good that's come out of what bad people have done negate the bad shit they've done? Michael Jackson,
yes.
R. Kelly.
It doesn't negate it. It's just
like
kind of,
these are like.
I mean, 12 kids, fire albums.
Chappelle talks about it, right? Bill Cosby, he but he saves.
Remember? Yeah, I remember that.
Right.
Yeah,
and it's just kind of like, dude, you watch Batman movies. Even those, you're like, dude, they destroyed half of the city to catch one fucking comical villain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're like, we got the Joker. You're like, my man, it's like half the city's destroyed.
I'm into sacrifice.
You're better off
for
just
the better good of the community.
So do you listen? Do you listen to Michael Jackson? Do you listen to
all the time?
R. Kelly?
24/7. Not R. Kelly. I haven't been listening to as much, but Michael all day.
Same.
I can literally just.
I've been listening to a lot of
all day.
Kanye lately. I put on Kanye lately, and I'm
Sick.
like, damn, this guy's so fucking good.
But what did
He's
Kanye do
genius.
that's bad? I don't get it.
Nothing. He just was a crazy. He's just genius has to come. You got to accept the good with the bad.
Yeah.
Dude, this table is probably made by slaves. Some person
I mean,
working
the batteries in an
in
iPhone.
some part. Everything in this room is made by someone else's pain.
Also, like autistic kids, right? They'll be like, yo, this autistic kid is one of the best piano players ever. But once in a while, he runs out in the middle of the highway and starts jerking off. What am I supposed to do?
That's
He's a
the
beast.
formula.
He's
That's
a
the
beast,
formula.
right?
That's why-
he's smart. He's cool. He has some fucking fire shit. But
Back
once in
in
a while,
the-
he has to come on the highway.
But
That's okay.
But that come on the highway. That's also, but that's now supporting what we were saying earlier. It's just like we can't, like you can't just be canceled for anything you say. It's like you got to go with the bad. You got to know that if you're going to be Elon
That's
Musk.
why you got to hide the recipe.
Autistic.
That's why all these people hide the recipe. You don't know the Coca-Cola's formula, right? Because they can't let you know their formula. For a while, it was cocaine.
It actually was cocaine.
Yeah. For a while, they had Coke and cocaine. You know, it's just
Guys, basically what we're saying is that sometimes, you know, for the better good.
think about it. You cook a phenomenal meal, but there's so much pain inside of that. If you look at that dish, you're like, this is a holocaust of life in this
insane.
bowl. This is something got shoved into an oven.
It's fried out. I love you.
I'm just telling you. It's crazy. Like when people are like,
Nah,
I want to
the
go
shit is
hunt
getting
my
wild.
own food. When you have to hunt your own food, I could never do it. I could never kill another. Like I can't shoot a cow. I would never be able to cattle prod a
Yo,
cow.
I know, it's
I wouldn't be able to do any of that shit.
Nah, I could do that.
You could kill a
I could do
cow.
that.
Yeah,
Cows
yeah,
are so cute. They're like big dogs.
My man, you're
Someone-
talking about Holocaust and shit like that.
Yeah, but I'm not the one
to kill a
doing
cow.
it. I'm not. I'm saying.
Like you can't be also like. There's also a fact in this society too. Like if you talk a wild, like it's the same. My principle is like if
No.
you talk crazy, you gotta at least perform.
No,
at
you
least
don't.
80%
I could
of the
just be
things
a-
that you're wild about.
No, that would actually make me crazy.
like
I'm
meaning
not-
like.
I said Harvey Weinstein's
you
okay
accept-
sexually harassing women. Doesn't mean I would be doing it. I'm just saying I'm going to close my eyes a little bit because I don't want to know how he makes such good movies. That's it.
I guess yeah, you're right. Whatever.
Right?
I'm
You
not
know
gonna
what I
go
mean?
with my example because it's gonna take me to a whole new rabbit hole. But
Dude, if they had to bring out at a restaurant and slaughter a pig in front of you, you would lose your appetite.
No one would go to the restaurant.
Right. So the point is, except when you do it at camp, when you make the pig roast, it
Yeah,
is kind of
yeah,
nice.
that is different.
But it's already dead. It's the squealing. It's the cry for help.
Lobsters.
That's where I would lose it.
Listen,
you
time
know what I
heals.
mean? That's why like the Holocaust is a crazy concept because someone had a joke. I think Shane Gillis talked about it. He's like, did Hitler have to commute to the Holocaust? They're like, they talk about it. They're like, can you imagine just getting in your car? He's like, just driving. Like, what's the commute like? To like, he's like, you got to commute, right? So like, it's really easy to be like, oh, get rid of that, get rid of this, get rid of that, right? Like, but if you had to hear the screams of people, I think that's where I would break down. I'm very good at distancing myself, but when it's in my face, I'm like, whoa, that's hard. Like I wouldn't be able to hold down a squealing pig
I mean,
and
it's
shoot
like
it.
pigs, chickens, cows, like they. You know,
my grandma used to wake up at like 6 a.m. and just cut a fucking chicken open right in front of me.
nuts.
Yeah, but your
You get
grandma
that?
came
Like
from
literally Ukraine. You just go.
cut the head
What are
off,
you guys
and
eating?
then they do actually.
Yeah, but
run around.
She's like, yo, you're eating rabbit or you're eating chicken? And I'm like, oh, I want some chicken soup. All right, cool. Boom, just right on the spot. And then the chicken's just running around, bleeding
Yeah,
out of his
yeah,
head.
everywhere,
Right.
yeah.
And I'm like, grandma, it's 6 a.m. Like, it's okay.
but that's just
And
a
time
different-
heals. 3 hours later, I forgot she did that.
My aunt only eats chicken. She had a pet chicken. We grew up Filipino. She grew up in the Philippines. One day they were eating chicken adobo, the national dish of the Philippines, and her pet chicken was gone. And she's just like the realization as a kid like that. You're just like, well, this
She's like, don't have pet chickens.
it's-
We're
it's like,
fucking
how,
hungry.
How the fuck does this shit get to you? And a lot.
You should never be friends with your food.
No, never.
No.
My neighbor
name it.
in Ukraine, my mom comes home. She goes, yo, she's like, you saw the cats that were running around? She's like, yeah. She's like, one of the cats had a cat litter. I'm like, okay, can I go see the cat? She's like, no, she drowned all of them. I said, what do you mean? She goes, yeah, she's not gonna fucking feed all these cats, so she drowned the litter.
Who, the lady?
Yeah.
Fucking
Jesus Christ.
And it was like nothing. I was like, what do you mean? She's like, yeah, they all do that because they can't fucking castrate. I mean, they can't fucking take them so you don't get pregnant. She's like, yo, so she had her give the birth into a little like bucket. And that's it. See you later.
I would throw up. I would cry. I would cry.
And it was like nothing. She's like, yeah, what do you mean? The whole village does it. Yeah. I was like,
because they're like, because then it would just be a whole village.
Yeah. She's like, it is what it is. I was like, did she keep one?
Whoa.
She's like, did she keep one?
Gnarly.
And I'm like, and she's like, no. She's like, she just has the 2 main cats. I was like, oh. She's like, yeah, it's her 3rd litter.
I mean, that's what they used to do in
Third
Japan,
litter.
right?
Crazy.
Or China.
I mean, I've heard that before.
Like if you have a daughter, they're like, all right, drown her.
Spartans did that.
Yeah, well, the problem is we have so much stuff now, right? So it's it's more foreign for us to hear about someone slaughtering their own chicken for food. It's one thing in Ukraine when you're in a village and you're like, this is my only food. There's no Whole Foods down the block, right? But if you're slaughtering chickens in your apartment in Midtown while there's a Whole Foods, that's the problem. And that's where our society's gotten so soft, is like we also go to war against countries that still slaughter chickens by hand.
Well, because, bro, that's the issue. You're not there. You're not seeing it. We're over here, comfy, nice and cozy, on this little fucking little bubble that we're in, while everybody's getting down to business. And if you were there, you would start appreciating it a little more. It's the same thing as a girlfriend that doesn't work and constantly nagging you and like, oh, like, you know, what are you doing? This and that. And be like, yo, if you come to work with me for a day, you wouldn't get as upset because you'd be like, you know what? You're right. Like, I'm sorry.
Why are you so pissed when you come home? Well, just fucking do what I just did, and then you'll see why I'm so angry. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
So instead of like a birthright for Jews, we should have a human right where every person at 13 gets shipped away to a third world country so they can understand. I
couldn't agree more
How,
on that.
like, hey, for a week you're going to learn how to make an iPhone. For next week you're going to learn how to slaughter this. You're going to sew clothes for Nike for a week. Like, you should have an internship to all the worst parts of the world so that you can come back to America and then be like, do I really need this stuff?
Because people say Brownsville
And the
Brooklyn
answer is going to be yes.
That's so true.
The answer is going to be yes, because the minute I come back, I'm like, not my problem.
People go,
Here you come back, you're like, oh.
people in
Sucks to
Brownsville
be
are
them.
like, yo, we have it bad here. And be like, yeah, come to the village over here in Ukraine and just see what goes on. So just come live there for a week. You would run back to Brownsville in a second. You'd be like, yeah, you're right. My
Yeah,
bad.
but you know what the crazy part about society is? If your fucking house burns down in Ukraine, you can rebuild it in 3 hours with mud again. The problem is in our society,
and you'll fall
something
back again.
Right. But at least over there, your whole life doesn't go up in shambles. In LA, there's people who've lost their homes who are like 80. Who what are they supposed to do the rest of their lives? Right? There's no infrastructure for.
And then $770 that they got from FEMA. You know that?
That's it.
Like that's the most insane number. You're like, wait, what do you mean $700?
I've gotten bigger iPhone rebates.
Yeah, like what do you mean $700 for your whole life burned down? Hey man, just so you know, government's looking.
We
after
got you.
Like
That's $2 a day.
it's insane.
It's exactly.
Get
it's
yourself
almost-
2 pairs of shoes.
Like you're like, what the fuck?
Can I ask you a question though? Going
Yeah.
back to trauma real quick. What is the traumatic experience when you were becoming a chef that you remember, but nowadays you're like, damn, I was soft.
Fuck, there's so like.
Just give me your top one that you always go back to and you go, fuck, that was wild, but I can't believe I was that soft to react to it.
I was fortunate in that my reactions have in my career, my reactions haven't been bad in terms of like setting me back. But I do remember when it was soft and I didn't know what they were doing, but now I get it. I was working at the French Laundry. At the time, it's in Napa Valley. At the time,
What is French Laundry?
so it's a fine dining American restaurant run by Thomas Keller, and he's known as like the godfather of fine dining cuisine in the Americas. At the time I worked there, it was the best restaurant in the world, and through his tree has so many amazing chefs and entrepreneurs have come through that. When you go there, you work and you have to get reference to work there for free. Then you have to work there for free for a certain amount of time until they find that you're worth it, and then they'll offer you a job. So because of my resume, I was able to get in and I had to work there for free. First day I walk in, I say hi to everyone, they set me up and they give me grapes. And they told me to dice the grapes. And a dice of a grape, a technical dice is a quarter of an inch by quarter of an inch. But at the French Laundry, a dice is actually an eighth of an inch, also known as a brunoise. I had to fill up half of that cup in small cubes of perfectly cut grapes. I did it for 4 hours, no skin, no seeds. So you have to get a specific sliver of each grape in order to get that. No skin, no seeds. I did it for 4 hours. The chef separated 5 cubes just from the entire mix, separated 5 cubes and went, 1, 2, 3, 4. Do all these look alike, chef? And I looked at them and they clearly weren't all the same size, same cut, and they weren't uniform. And I said, No, chef. He takes them, goes, and throws it all in the garbage. 4 hours of work, and goes, do it again. So then I proceeded to do for another 9 hours the grape dice as slow as I could, so everything was there, and my back hurt. I could barely walk. My knees, getting home was the hardest thing. So the first day of the French Laundry, the only thing I did was cut grapes into small uniform cubes for about 13 and a half hours.
How did you feel, like mentally?
So I was broken. I was broken when he threw it away. I almost I felt like my soul was thrown away in the garbage.
It's like when you were 10 years old and you're about to cry, right?
Yeah. I was so dejected, and I just gulped, and I was like, I don't really have a choice here, and I just was just gonna say yes, chef, and just keep fucking cutting these things. And then on the walk back, I remember it was 5 blocks and then 2 blocks over to my apartment from the restaurant. I was angry, and I was like, I'm gonna fucking go in there and stab this motherfucker. I was like going crazy. I was like, how fucking dare you do that shit, dude? Do you understand how much work that took? Sorry, you can tell I never.
But you see, that trauma sits there, bro. It sits there.
But then, by the time I got back, I was like, you know what? Fuck you. And what I did was I went straight back to that chef the next morning, and I said, I'm ready. What else do you need?
But it makes you better. You see,
every fucking day, every day. So then what I did was, my goal was to annoy him. So what I said was, so that was one thing in 13 and a half hours. So then I realized that if I could get more things done, I would have to ask him more questions and thus annoy him.
So that you are basically, you
He's
take the
performing
power back.
the
You're
best,
taking the
yeah.
power back.
Yeah. So then I went, all right. So then every day I tried to do more than one thing.
And you would be perfect at it on purpose, just so it would piss him off.
Yeah, and then I got to the point at the very end of this, was 4 months later, I was able to do 15 things in the same amount of time I did one at that level. So that's crazy, right? It's going from 1 to 15. And then I remember, because I would always be like, I'm done, what do you need? I'm done, chef, what do you need? Chef, I'm done, what do you need? Chef, I'm done, what do you need? And I said that so many fucking times a day.
But he accomplished what he was doing.
In
one swipe, he literally built character for going forward.
Also, he's just looking at his, people who he's going to employ and be like, if I do this, this will cut half of the talent pool, right? He'll be like, half the people won't come back, and I don't need those people.
Correct.
I need
So
the people
fire.
that'll show up here, because how many times are
it.
you working in a restaurant where it's chaos and you need people who are strong, right? Not someone who's strong-willed, where you're like, dude, you got to balance more than you're used to today, right? It's chaos. We got Harvey Weinstein in there, and he's eating up a storm. Like, we need to fucking cook our tits off today.
I love it. I fucking love that.
And it's just,
It sucks so bad when you're young and you feel abused and it's trauma and da-da-da. Bro, it makes you the best version of yourself, especially if you accepted it the way you did. Like, you took it and you ran it with fire.
He beat me from, I remember, when I got changed. So he beat me from when he threw it away to when I got changed until I almost got to my front door of my apartment. He won.
Yeah, but that walk home is important.
Yeah, it was. That's why I know the exact. I know the exact. I could even tell you what's on the path. I have to go over the small bridge, over a creek, whatever.
I remember those. I remember those. Yeah, those are the best.
And it's just like, well, I mean, there's a lot more, but that's the first one, because I'm just like, how. I came here, I did all this stuff, all this work, my ego, all this bullshit, because and you're just gonna give me grapes to cut. You and I'm in my head, you know how fucking good I am. Do you know shit that I can do? And I'm cutting grapes, and then when I cut them, they're not good enough because you're
doing this for free, right? Is this still during the free part?
Free. It cost me $9,000 to work at the French Laundry.
Yeah, but look where it put you.
Yeah,
First 3 years at the barbershop, bro, it cost me like 40 grand.
Yeah,
grand.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because I didn't make $1.
Yeah, man.
He was like, the guy just threw me in the chair. He said, my man, good luck.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Wow.
Watch us and then see what happens. And at that time, that's when I met Kirill. Had no money coming in. Had to spend a little bit of money paying my mom. And you're learning the craft. So people are not coming to you because nobody trusts you.
Nope.
And then you're just waiting those 3 years and you're like, is this going to work? Is this going to work? Is this going to work? And no one's there going like, hey, good job, buddy. Like, you're doing good. Like, none of that is happening. They're like, work harder, buddy.
Work harder.
It sucks.
Good luck.
Too bad. And then you just keep building. And then at one point, you're just like, you don't feel bad for me. I don't have sympathy for you if you can't work that 12-hour shift. Like, I look at them like, oh, Val, send me clients. No, I'm not. For what? Why do you need clients?
Why?
You don't even appreciate them. What the fuck are you gonna do with them? You're not gonna keep them. You're not gonna perform the job well. Just go work a corporate job. Go to school. You don't need this. And I tell them, they're like, they get so offended. Like, bro, it's the truth.
Because what you were saying earlier about working in the kitchen, because you're right in that most competent, hardworking people are going to be able to be a line cook. Like, I'm discounting that, but in order to do it, you have to also realize that like the dishwasher might call out. So now on top of the job that you had to do to make all this fish and steak dishes, you're gonna have to clean up the entire fucking kitchen after because that dishwasher let you down. On top of that, the gas might go out. On top of that, maybe we had 20 people on the books, but for some reason this tonight 60 people decided to come in, and that stressed out the front of house. So the communication's wrong. So dealing with the
would you agree that there are just like, I feel like we're at this point in this culture where like abuse is like looked at badly, and before it used to be looked at as character building.
It's
not abuse.
Exactly.
I'm not saying abuse.
It's not abuse.
It's not abuse.
It's not
but
abuse.
It's more about
it turned into abuse.
No,
though.
but it's not abuse. It's like it's a whole lot of my feelings and my rights, right? Like now you might not get a person who's like, well, I worked 7 hours, now I need 2 breaks, I need a bathroom break, I need this, right? But in the high pressure environments, like in the arts, sometimes you're like, dude, you might have to work 16 hours.
Straight.
Shut the fuck up.
Because
Bro,
that's the
actors
only
don't, they sleep like 2 hours a night sometimes because they're fucking on set for fucking a week straight and they're working 16
well, yeah,
hours.
they get to play pretend.
Right, they
and
play
make
pretend, but
millions.
I'm saying, that, realistically, it is really not easy. Like, even when I was on the reality TV show, like, these guys are running around with these cameras, they're setting you up this, you're waiting, you're doing this, you're doing that. Bro,
You got to be ready to be abused. If you
can't
want
get
to make it in
abused-
life, you have to use
Yeah.
abuse as character building and not as a crutch.
But it's not. But I disagree in that it's. I agree with the concept, but it's not abuse.
It's not abuse.
But the problem with it is because
They
people have
called it
labeled
abuse.
it abuse. It's not
Yeah.
abuse. It's
Yeah.
this is what you call, whether it's called bootstraps, work hard, whatever you want to call it. It's not abuse. It's just you have to go through some shit.
It's called vetting.
Yeah, like and
That brings
filtering.
me to my point once again.
Jesus Christ.
If I have to suck off Harvey Weinstein to be in a movie, that's part of the journey. I would gladly, at 40 years old right now, blow someone to advance my career than do it on
I'd
the
rather do
merits
the
of my
grape thing.
work. not
rather
at
do
this
the
point.
grape
Not
thing,
at
bro.
this point because I've already done the grape thing.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Why would you blow anyone anything? Because you already did the thing. So what are you so desperate that you can't get through your own merit and whatever?
What are you talking about? I can't be fucking Iron Man.
So you would blow someone to be Iron Man?
Wouldn't you?
Yes.
What are you talking about? What the hell are you talking about?
I thought you were
That's
talking
great.
about blowing people for a
That was
lot of
great.
reasons.
That was great.
Dude, I would do so. It's just sex. That's all I got. It's just sex.
That was so good.
I thought
The
you were
timing
talking.
was
I thought you
great.
were talking about someone like you're in your own field. That's what I thought.
Yo,
But you're
you
Iron
killed
Man?
me with
Fuck
that.
Yeah,
He
like,
said yes.
like just here you go.
But
just
yeah,
double-
dude. I mean, look
double
at this
fist,
way.
double
In my
fist.
own field, in nightlife, I'd blow someone to have Tiesto's tour schedule.
You've done that.
Yeah, but I'd still do it.
The worst is when blowing someone becomes not like popular, like 10 years later, and you're like, "Fuck, I had to suck so much cock before." like fuck. Like cutting grapes is gonna be around forever in those kind of fields.
Yeah,
you
but
know
so
what I mean?
is sucking cock. Sucking cock to advance your career is going to get you further than perfectly cut grapes.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I'm
Until
just
everybody
telling.
cuts them off because it's getting
We,
there.
in the kitchen, we had a debate. It's like, how much would it take? Like, how much money to suck a dick for like whatever? Just like
Just depends how it advances. me.
what's everyone's? No, it's just straight money.
Oh, straight money?
Straight money.
To put a wiener in my mouth and suck it to completion. I have to swallow.
We said you don't have to swallow.
You don't have to swallow.
We all everyone had different numbers, and I couldn't believe some of the numbers. Like, some of these numbers.
I would
that
have
I'm
You're
said-
like, damn.
I would need.
Like,
I
I
would
someone making $7.65 an hour might suck a dick
Sounds
for
like yo, I want 3
$7.70.
bands. No, I would do like a Milski.
Joe
You
Biden
know
told
why?
everyone
I'll
in
explain
California
why.
to suck a dick.
Okay, I
I'll
wanna
explain
know- I
this.
wanna know why a mill.
I would do reason why I do a mill is because I'm already in a place mentally where I can pivot a mill into actually freeing myself in my life.
Okay.
But the reason why I would do a mill is because if the word gets out, I can at least conquer the fact that the word is on the street.
Yeah.
With the pivoting the money to be more successful and be like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I did well.
Yeah, you'll
I
outdo
did
your
well.
friends. You're basically be like,
Yeah.
you're not going to be my friends anymore because I have more money than
I'm
you
like,
have.
yo, I already made the money. I'm chilling. You guys go work like these hours that you work, and you guys can make fun of me all you want. But if I had to make 50,000, the words on the street, like, yo, this kid's a herb. He's still cutting hair or
Well,
whatever.
let me
He's
ask you
still
a
doing this, he's
question.
doing
Why,
that.
why are you getting made fun of for being gay? Sucking a dick is just a like who do you mock your gay friends for
It's not
sucking
about
dicks?
that. It's
No.
the integrity. It's not
What's
about
the integrity? What do you mean integrity? It's just
sucking
sex.
dick. It means that you are
gay.
In a sub,
No,
in a
that you
submissive,
submit. That you're a submissive bitch. That
No.
you are a cuck that taking a picture with Chris Brown.
No, you're not.
That guy.
You're telling
that
me
guy.
how many gay people have I met that aren't cucks that suck dicks?
Yes, but they are that because they don't. It's not something they're not doing on a daily basis because they enjoy it.
Yeah,
I
but the
don't
minute
enjoy
you
it.
suck one dick, you're gay, Val.
Right,
Ooh,
but that's the whole point.
Oh,
I don't enjoy
I
it,
don't
though.
agree. I don't agree with that. So you're saying that in the like in this challenge that there's a certain amount of money that the second that you pick the money over the fact that you're gay or not,
Let me ask you
gay?
as an old age question: if you fuck one horse, what are they calling you the rest of your life? A horse fucker.
Right, but that's
You
my
suck
point.
one dick, you're gay,
Homie,
man.
but you're not understanding. That's my point. Is that once that becomes in the street, as long as the money's worth me being called that.
Being called gay? What's wrong with being called gay? It's
I personally
2025.
don't want to be called that because that's not my preference.
You're in my phone as gay.
Right.
Val is
Sure.
gay.
But I'm telling you, that's not my preference. So that's what I
Do you
wouldn't
think
want.
you're going
right?
to lose credibility by being gay?
My man, you're not understanding. If I'm making 50,000 and the word on the street is I'm gay, the chances are I'm not gonna have a wifey that's gonna be like, oh shit, you're 50,000 richer now, but you can't really do anything for me. You're gay. So why am I with you? You become emasculated in front of your girl.
Okay.
So if
Yeah,
you
but
have
how
a
many
million
times have
and
we
you're
made
serving
shit-
money and you're doing the right thing, she goes, I don't care. Like it's fine. You got money now.
But that's why it's a mill.
Yes,
Yeah,
because it
we've
has
done
to,
a lot of gay shit for free.
No, I don't know about
We
that.
wear wigs and make TikTok videos together.
No,
and
homie,
arguably
come
any
on,
girl
bro,
that
relax.
does.
Your analogies already that you're pushing.
What's your
that's-
number?
What's my number for sucking a dick?
To completion.
To completion, I'd blow someone probably for like $100 grand.
You're an idiot.
Dude, $100,000
You would never
cash.
do it. Never would.
You can't
would
turn
never.
100 grand
You
cash
would
into a
never
million?
do it.
What do you mean? I
My
wouldn't
man,
do
what
it?
do you mean? You just invested into Apple stock. Did you make it into $1 million?
No, but
Okay.
but guess what? Like 3 minutes worth of work to make $100 grand. I don't know anybody in this room that makes. That
I'd
much
rather
money.
get a Trump coin.
You didn't.
Still made
100
money.
grand.
Not 100, but I made
What?
money.
100 grand.
100 grand.
Interesting.
Never.
Why? But see, you
Stupidity.
attach too much. You like what? It's just
Stupidity.
your mouth, dude. Who the fuck do you think you are?
And you also
It's
coming up
it's-
with crazy
It's the psychological
solutions.
thing of having a dick in my mouth. That's why I'd be like. That's what.
Yeah, obviously.
So what?
It's just not-
What,
it's
it's like
something
a
I don't
trauma
want.
that you
Like,
think
I
is
would
gonna-
much
Yeah, I don't
rather-
want to do a lot of things, but I do it for way less money. How many things do you do every day for way less than 100 grand? You abuse your body. I've eaten garbage food plenty of times in this town.
No, you're tripping.
It's just a wiener. Just saying. You guys are.
No. The money has to. You gotta have value, homie. You wouldn't do a photo. You wouldn't be doing like club pop ups for fucking. I don't know. Like you have a price, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Right. So you
Okay,
have a rate. So
I have
some
my
people-
rate, 100 grand. That's the most money I've ever gotten for one single thing for 5 minutes worth of work. That's more money than I've ever seen in my life.
What if it's very hard for the guy to come?
Not how I'm sucking. Do you think I'm gonna go in there and do? I'm gonna give myself more work. I'm gonna practice.
He goes. I'm gonna do that.
You're gonna practice?
It'll be less than 3 minutes.
Oh, you're gonna show up not ready to suck a dick and try to figure it out there on the fly? That could take you 30 minutes. That's arguably gayer. You want to spend more time
So
with
you're
the
gonna
dick.
change character completely for 100K.
Because now, but no,
you're gonna actually become
I'll
gay.
I'll just practice like I practice grapes. I'll go home crying every day.
How would
and
you
then I'll
do it?
sit-
Let me see.
Just a little.
Nah, you're tripping. Your mouth wasn't open big enough, wide enough.
See, so you know more than I do.
Oh my god.
I'm just telling you.
Yeah, you're bugging out. 100 grand is not gonna do much for you.
What is it? 11:30. You got to run.
Yeah.
Um.
How we doing?
Any questions?
Yeah,
Last questions that
Yeah.
we need
yeah,
for.
no, yeah.
No, I mean this was. We didn't learn a lot about cooking, but we learned a lot about morals
Character.
and cooking.
Character.
And I appreciate you not taking 100 grand to suck the cacao.
You don't know if he has or hasn't.
What was
He's
your
not-
price?
My number?
Yeah.
My number's 50 mil.
50?
Yeah.
Dude, you're retarded.
What the fuck? You can pivot way less for.
Mine's 50.
Who's in your social circle that applies that much pressure that you would need 50 million to
No
come out
one.
as gay?
I just like I love women, and
I would have
just- and
slapped.
just-
So what?
I just like I love women. I don't love dick.
I agree with you on
Yeah,
that.
yeah, but love is free. This is
So
money.
if you want, yeah, and that's my price.
Dude, there's a
I know
woman
my
in your
price.
life that will slap the shit out of you for turning down 5 million.
Nah, this kid's bugging out though. 100 bands, he's talking
100
crazy
racks,
though.
100
You're
racks.
bugging out, bro.
Yeah.
What 100 bands? What are you gonna do with 100,000, bro?
A lot.
With what?
What do you mean?
Put in
Val,
the S&P 500 for fucking 10 years?
well, it doesn't matter. 100 grand. Val, don't act like you've seen $100,000 cash for 3 minutes worth of work.
Not 3
And-
minutes.
Yeah, and
but
guess
I've
what?
seen
My
it.
body's a landfill anyways. What do you care?
I just know that 100 grand is not gonna get you out anywhere. Like
It's
not
just
gonna
like,
do
for
anything
example,
for
okay,
you.
like it's just me waking up.
to
and
just
then
be
I'm like,
called
oh, like-
gay?
like,
Dude, people call me every day. Might as well get 100 grand for doing it.
oh
once.
yeah, I don't care about the moniker. It's just me waking up, being like, all right, how was your day? Yesterday it was
Yeah,
good.
but we're
I went to
talking-
the gym, and then there's a dick
No,
in my
that's a-
mouth.
yeah.
Yes,
so
but you
what?
pivot your
Like, I just-
following and the things you've done in your life. So you have the audacity to be like, oh, like it doesn't affect me. Yes, obviously, because you have
You're just
notability.
insecure because you hang out with a bunch of uptight Russian homophobes in Brooklyn
It's
who
not
are
even-
like, you suck the dick. Meanwhile,
it's not about
they're
that.
literally committing scams
He's
all
talking
day
about
for less
people
money.
that have no followings, regular lives that fucking
Yeah,
have-
100 grand's a lot of money to them to
No.
suck a
Oh,
dick.
Oh,
No,
it
no.
was like there's cooks being like, I'll do it for $5,000.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Bro, Joe Biden gave you $770 for a mansion being burnt down. Talk about sucking a dick for nothing.
I was
Like-
like $5,000. I was
Yeah.
like, wow, like there's people here that might actually just give you $5,000.
You're not paying these people enough. You should be like, damn, I'm a terrible boss. If I got employees willing to suck dick for $5,000,
You're like, yo, you sure you would
you don't
do
know
that?
where you gotta. The crazy part about that question is that answer changes depending on your
That should-
financial situation in life.
Sure, but that should be an interview question when you're hiring somebody. Because if you don't value yourself high enough, I
See
gotta
where
be
this
like,
lands.
like
It's not about the act.
it could also be a good hire thing that they're having a low price. Be like, oh shit, I can give them pay less.
Oh my god.
Jordan, you're a legend. Thank you for
Thank you. Will you
pulling up.
plug? What do you got to plug? Carriage House. That's the big.
For now, just I mean, there's a lot of good stuff working, but for now,
Well, maybe we
just,
shouldn't plug anything after this episode.
just Carriage House.
Carriage House, guys.
Yeah,
Carriage
Carriage
House.
House.
Come in.
New York, West Village.
You don't know who you might see in there. You might see me.
Yeah.
You won't see Harvey Weinstein.
Hell no.
Absolutely not.
No.
But make sure to come in and pay for a meal at Carriage House that you don't eat in honor of Harvey. Be like, that's the money we're putting back in Jordan's pocket because he can't let crazy people in.
He won't.
Won't.
Not can't. Won't.
Won't.
It's a can't.
Can we also do
I'm a can't. I'm not a won't.
God, by the way, if anybody in your restaurant gets ever frustrated, if it's like, because I know it's a very intense environment and they get very, in their heads and stuff like that, we have a promotion right now with bang.com. Okay. The promo code is ALFBANG. It's 2 days. Okay. So you can tell
this is
everybody,
great. This
you
is
can
a
tell
great-
everybody in your restaurant, be like, yo, if you really need to go bananas, use ALFBANG as a promo code at bang.com and let one out. Give them a little, you'd be like, go to the bathroom, just get your frustration out and come right back to work. You know what I mean?
Alf Bang.
And that goes for all the viewers as well.
Yeah, so basically, if any of your employees are short for cash and need to learn how to suck a good dick, just go to bang.com.
Got it.
ALF Bang, that's the true tutorial, and maybe you can monetize it.
Yes.
50 million, you're out of your goddamn mind. 50 million, like literally like fucking Tom Cruise doesn't get that for fucking Top Gun, and you want that for 3 minutes of
And then that way, the next morning I can wake up and be like, it's all good. I got 50 mil.
Yeah, exactly. There
I
has
just-
to be a price for
it's
that.
all about me waking up the next morning. I'm like, I got 10 grand. I'm like, nah, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I got 100.
I agree.
Nah, I'm
It
good.
has to be.
I'll wake
working.
up next morning. You want to wake up tomorrow morning and be like, I found 100 grand in my pocket?
Fortunately, no. Actually, no. I'm not gonna go there.
You guys are stupid. You guys are stupid.
No, 100 grand feels nice, but it ain't nothing like where I'm like, oh, I'm gonna stop working.
Yeah.
No one
fuck?
said you have to stop working. You just suck a dick for 3 minutes and go back to
And go
working.
back to
and you make 100
I
grand.
need at least 2 M-skis in the fucking high yield. You know what I mean? Like, so
Dude,
we
you
can use-
attach weight. That's a problem. Is like you think like a woman. Like you attach so much value to your mouth and organs. Like that's like when girls like I don't like some girls like, oh, I'll suck your dick for 10 grand. I'm like, bitch, there's girls in nightclubs that do it for free.
Yeah,
like
but
who are you that you need
I'm a
millions of
classy
dollars?
lady. You're a hoe.
It's just
Yeah.
me. It's me
Fuck
waking
you.
up.
And hoes
The
win.
fuck? It's waking up the next day. When I wake up next day, be like, all right, how was yesterday? It was all right. I did 50 racks or 50 mil. What'd you do? Stuck the dick. All right, cool. To myself, move on. But like if it's less than that, I'd be like, I don't know. Was it worth? Did you want to have that dick in your mouth for whatever X amount dollar?
I'm one of those girls.
looking
I'd
at
rather
bad
find a
food.
guy with a jet than find a bunch of guys that spend on bottle service in the club. You know what I mean? Like, I just need one good quality fucking situation. I just need one good quality situation.
It's not gonna happen. The problem is the 100 grand is more realistic than the 50 as an approachable.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right.
do you
Like
mean?
someone's could offer me 100, but ain't nobody offering you 50.
Oh yeah, that's true.
On the market,
that's
yeah.
true.
On
Like
the
if you're
market.
saying
On the market.
okay, but I mean, it wasn't
Your
it-
initial IPO is insane.
So that means he
Your
would do
IPO
10.
would-
He would do 10 that month.
10 grand?
No, 10 cocks.
If I already
'Cause it's
did one, what's
realistic.
9 more? I would literally do 500 and get to 50 million. One a day for a year and change.
Oh
Guys.
my god.
I'd reach that 50 million faster than you would.
Yo, can you open up a marketplace for this?
Yeah, post nut clarity.
Guys, please, like Upwork for fucking.
Yeah, we work your balls,
Guys, we love you. Please watch and subscribe, share it, send some clips to your friends, give us a like, take a
Thank
look
you,
at
Jordan.
Jordan's stuff. He's amazing, super
My
charming
favorite
guy.
chef on the planet. He comes over. He cooks at our house. We get. I don't know what. I can't say a lot of things we
it's
do,
fun,
but we get a little weird. We get a little frisky.
We
and
love you, Jordan. You're the best.
Jordan
You guys
has
are great.
has fed
Thanks so
me
much.
my entire adult life. I love you,
Appreciate you guys.
Dude. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
That was
You're the man.
silly.
That was
fun.
amazing.
That was fun.